the strong message is, unless you are there to stand up for the people of Iran, the way we stood up for Palestinian rights, and there is absolutely no conflation and no problem with that. There is no difference between that. But if you've got nothing to say, then support the people of Iran, then shut the hell up.
Are we seeing a historic moment similar to the collapse of the Berlin Wall? Will the people of Iran finally break free from the 46-year-long rule of the Ayatollahs? Or are we just seeing what we've sadly seen so often in the past, in Iran, protests violently being suppressed and eventually being forced to end? We don't know yet, but few people are watching more closely from the outside than the British-Iranian comedian and actor Omid Djalili, who I'm delighted to say joins us now. Omid, good morning to you.
Good morning, Stig.
What do you make of where we are as of today? We know that how difficult it is to get full information out of Iran at the moment, but where do you assess the situation as you currently see it?
Well, I've hardly slept because the terrible news is that the crackdown, the brutal crackdown, has started in earnest now. Human rights groups have put the killings and deaths by the regime on the protesters who are unarmed at 650, though the videos I see, which I will never share because they're way too horrific. I mean, they're killing kids, they're killing teenagers, young girls. They're absolutely horrific videos, and the word from inside, the number is closer to the high thousands, around the 7,000 mark. But what is incredible, and this is why I'm doing this as a human being, I've never been more proud as a human being to see my fellow human beings in the face of such unbelievable repression for 46 years, who don't care about our culture wars here, about who's behind these protests. This is the Iranian people for the people who are moving forward, and they are undaunted. I mean, I'm sorry, I had to tell Victoria Derbyshire yesterday on BBC Newsnight, but they're all, the protests are quelling, because I saw it was Lise Doucette, of all people, who are just parroting the regime propaganda that, oh no, there's more protests against the protesters. Protesters have all gone home. That is not true. We're still seeing, with no internet, we're still seeing videos, thousands of people on the streets, and they are at that point where they will not stop. I mean, it's one of the most remarkable. I was at the Berlin Wall when the Berlin Wall came down as someone in my early 20s.
Really?
I was so excited. I was there.
Amazing.
And that was the most amazing revolution I think we'd ever seen. It was peaceful. This is different. This is on a completely different level altogether. This is one of the most amazing stories unfolding for humanity right now. I cannot believe the stuff. That's why I'm not slept, because I'm speaking not just as a concerned Iranian. I'm absolutely gobsmacked as a human being how these people are at that last door. There are young kids on the streets, and they're basically saying it's do or die. Yeah. You know, it's the end game now, and whatever Trump does, and you know, at the end of the day, if there is some kind of intervention, all revolutions have some kind of outside intervention. Yeah. And if Trump comes and does something, they'll take it.
Is there a fear, though, that a theocratic regime which can count all these protesters as enemies of God can just keep hammering down, hammer down, hammer down, hammer down? Is that the fear that we all must have today, that once you start killing children and killing people indiscriminately and saying that we have such a fear of our own future that we're willing to do anything it takes to put you down, are you worried that it could continue to do that?
It is going to continue, and the thing is, the more they do that, the more unified the people come, and the more people come out on the streets. We're seeing, it's. I can't stress more that it's every walk of life. There are people who want to go out and they're in wheelchairs being pushed. There are elderly people in their 90s who've had enough. But it's making the resolve of the people even more. We're seeing the most incredible war of attrition right now between the people of Iran and the government of Iran. And there's never been a bigger chasm between, you know, a government and the people. And they won't stop. I'm telling you, that's why I'm saying, when is this going to end? And it's not. It's just not. There are more and more people coming. And yes, the crackdown is even harder. And sadly, we're seeing thousands of people get killed.
We talk about that chasm between the government and the people, which is really important when we talk about Iran. We've heard on this programme from various Iranians over the last few days saying that the key moment might be some of the institutions of the state moving. the oil guys, the police, the military, someone in a position of authority in the state goes from supporting the state to supporting the people. Is that plausible, do you think? Is that what we should be looking for?
Well, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to win hearts and minds. And a very key group of people is the Iranian military. Now, not the IRGC, the Islamic Republican Guard Corps, who are a militia specifically there to keep the regime in power. They're about 600,000 strong. There is the Iranian military, which are maybe similar in numbers. I'm not sure. They're the ones who are watching. They're the ones who are on the sides. And what we hear is a lot of the security forces did not come out onto the streets. They refused to kill their fellow Iranians. What you're seeing is a lot of people brought in from neighboring countries, Iraqis, Syrians possibly coming in, and they're the ones doing the killing. So it's a good sign that a lot of them stayed away, but it needs the military to come in and say, right, that's it. They come on the ground and they protect the people. That's what we're looking for.
You mentioned Trump. Is your position really a sanguine one, which is to say that it's in the world's interest? We heard this yesterday. It's in the world's interest to get rid of Ayatollah, and what that could mean for peace, to do with the Middle East, to do with Russia, is for a tremendous benefit to the whole world, many people would argue. Are you sanguine, therefore, about Western involvement, even though we all know that the danger of regime change brought in from outside can be problematic? Do you think there might need to be some help, some impetus, some catalyst?
I mean, Stig, you've hit the nail on the head. There was always a legitimate worry that countries like Iran will go the same way as Afghanistan or Syria, and all these things have happened, and Iraq. It's happened because of American intervention, so it's a legitimate fear. The people of Iran have agency. They have a plan, and they keep saying, "We've got this. We're gonna deal with it. We'll deal with the power vacuum. We'll decide what we do." And it does seem to be they do seem to have a figurehead in Reza Pahlavi, who is the son of the former Shah, who is coming in supposedly to transition the country into a secularly democratically elected government, and possibly a constitutional monarchy, which is like Britain, runs alongside a secular government. But I think that at the end of the day, yes, it's money. It's all about what will the world's governments do, because they've appeased this regime. They're making money from this regime. It's very clear that we have interests in this country. Are we prepared to stand up for the people of Iran and maybe focus away from just making money off this regime? You have to ask, how can we even be in business with a regime that does this to their people? And we've been tolerating it for years. Yeah.
Just finally, Omid, you've not slept. We can hear in your voice how impassioned you are. What's it been like? Because you're a very social media character. You're there on social media. You use social media rightly to find out information. What's been the reception on social media? Are you getting grief? Are you getting lack of understanding? How's it been on you personally, how people are talking to you and talking about you on social media?
In general, it's been extremely positive. I mean, I've had the comedy community behind me, and I have to mention, names like John Cleese, Al Murray, David Baddiel. There's a whole bunch of people who are supporting, and lots of other comedians. And I really thank them for this, because it really, really means a lot to me. But there's a lot of people who are attacking, who are saying, oh, you're just a puppet of Zionism. Let's be really clear. I think for anyone to say that this is an American-led, Israeli-led revolution is absolutely off the mark. And, it's this kind of narrative that's getting people killed on the streets right now. So this is Iranian-led. Sure, America and Israel and the whole world will gain if this regime goes. But to call it that, the strong message is, unless you are there to stand up for the people of Iran, the way we stood up for Palestinian rights, and there is absolutely no conflation and no problem with that. There is no difference between that. But if you've got nothing to say, then support the people of Iran, then shut the hell up.
We appreciate your time, Omid. Thank you for taking the time to talk. So hopefully we'll have a conversation where things have moved on and we can see a happier future on the horizon. Good to speak to you.
Let's hope. Cheers. Thank you.
That's Omid Djalili there, the British-Iranian comedian.
And lots of support from you listening to that interview, including Robert, who says, I was so moved by listening to Omid Djalili there, actually close to tears at one point. We are and we will continue to try and reflect what is happening on the ground. It is difficult, and many of you are linking a couple of stories today, talking about Starlink and trying to help communications in Iran. It's something that the UK government has been asked whether it would be willing to do. We asked Peter Kyle yesterday. He said he couldn't talk about operational measures that the government may or may not take, but also linking that with the story about Grok and about this discussion we're having about images and Elon Musk once again. People wondering whether Elon Musk is in some ways a lightning rod for criticism, but in other ways we forget the things that his companies do to help around the world.
And that's the epitome of technology, isn't it? That there are clearly, even Luddites like me would say, great advantages in technology and communication and collection of people, congregation. But we also know the massive problems that come along with it. But yeah, it would be wrong to say if Musk is able to open up satellites, to open up Iran to outside scrutiny, that can only be a good thing.